Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Markets on Monday, the 4th of May. Another interesting week ahead for markets. A couple of things that we as a team have been discussing today that I thought I would share with you. One, just the weakness that we saw in the US and UK markets on Friday. I think probably a large proportion of that comes through from just the change in sentiment and tone in the market that we experienced towards the end of last week, as the market started to focus on the uncertainty that was coming through from the earnings outlook from a number of companies, primarily the fact that companies are withdrawing guidance, so that removes an anchor for market participants. And then secondly, just the raft of economic data that we saw towards the end of last week that really did bring to light the stark damage that COVID-19 lockdowns have brought to economies across the globe. So just as we've discussed in the past, sentiment is important to markets, and sentiment has certainly taken a slightly more negative tone at this point in time. We've seen that through Asia overnight, but primarily that's just a bit of catch up from those markets that were closed on Friday, and that will be a similar thing that we'll see in European markets today. European markets likely to be weaker than the UK, just given that they were primarily closed on Friday. Turning to the week ahead, I think there's obviously a lot of things that will be coming. We'll continue to see the reporting season coming through. That'll be interesting just because I think we're going to see a number of the European banks reporting this week, and it'll just be interesting to see the level and magnitude of provisioning against bad loans that they take relative to what we saw from the UK and the US banks already in this reporting season. So that's something to watch. I think on the economic front, yes, we'll get some survey evidence that looks towards the future as to how businesses are thinking, but we know those numbers will be in all likelihood be very disappointing, just given where we are in terms of lockdowns. We also hear from both the RBA, so the Reserve Bank in Australia, and the Bank of England with their monthly interest rate decision meetings. I don't think anything will come from those. I think probably what's more interesting from a market perspective is just the statements that come with that and the minutes. And we also get the inflation report from the Bank of England at the same time. So again, information from which we can have a look through, and just to get a sense of how the central banks are thinking about the effectiveness of policy at this point in time. And then on Friday, yes, it'll be a holiday here in the UK, but in the US we will have the unemployment report, and this will be very, very significant in the sense that I think the expectation is that it will show some 22 million individuals unemployed in the US, and that would take the unemployment rate in the US to 16%. Very significant numbers and very historical in the context of that series. So things to watch in the week ahead. That's it from today. Please join me as we go through the week to share the perspectives from the True Potential investment team. Thanks very much. Bye.